Hello. Okay. Wow, that's a new intro.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We are back. It's your boy Bunny 3000 along with the one and only Grim Freaker. Say what's up to the people, girl.
Hey y'all, what's going on?
Yeah, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's been a while. It seems like it's been like a long while because so much has really been going on in the world of everything culture in the past week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye done lost his mind.
Yeah,
Street Fighter still is kind of wonky.
Wonky.
Yeah, from my
Broken.
understanding, it's still broken and wonky. I mean, it's like everything.
Incomplete.
Yeah, it's like everything is going crazy. Like in the past week, for some reason, we're getting reports, and these are reports that I predicted long ago that Batman versus Superman is not going to be what the studio thought it was gonna be, and all this other kind of
What?
crazy stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, the world is falling apart. Deadpool is setting all kinds of records. It's
Yeah.
like pandemonium out there. What's going on?
2016 has been like everybody's taking an L.
Pretty
Like
much.
mad celebrities are dying.
I know.
Like
Oh my gosh. Cancer sucks balls. I'm like,
yeah.
it's ridiculous how many people have died to cancer in just like what, like the past 2 months, basically. And RIP to Vanity, aka Denise. Um, as one of the other celebrities that recently passed in the last couple of weeks. But man, what in the world? It's crazy, man. It really is.
Yeah, it's 2016 is general. We're like we're at the end pretty much of February, and what we got like four
Yes.
more days left. 4 more days.
Yes. The it's
No,
what, the
we have
24th. So we got 5 more days.
5 more days.
Hmm.
We've got 5 more days in February, and the shit is hitting the fan everywhere
Hmm.
that we go.
Yes, it
Just
is.
like boom, boom, boom. So I think like the only good thing that has really like news wise that has happened out of 2016 is the Deadpool movie. I don't remember anything. I haven't watched it yet, so don't spoil it for me because I'm supposed to
I
be
haven't
going
either.
into like I
Yeah, I haven't
think
seen it
it's been
either. Jason's the
crazy.
only one that's seen it.
Yeah, so but other than that, everything has just been like either blase or just extreme, just like things just
Yeah.
crumble apart. And I don't know what the hell that's about, but jeez, if the beginning of the year is any indication of what the rest of the year is gonna be like, I'm scared.
Pretty
I'm
much.
really
It's
scared.
like this is gonna be a really rough year if it continues down this road.
Hmm.
It's pretty wild. It really is. But at the very least, on that note, ooh, I gotta turn that down a little bit because that's way too loud. Goodness. Um, I'm trying to start up XCOM in the background, but I gotta turn the volume down so that I can at least be able to hear you while I'm doing the
Mm.
thing. Let's see here. Let me turn that. down. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so let's see. This past week, we have gotten a taste of some epic gamage, I guess you could say. I don't necessarily want to say that was unexpected, but I think it has kind of caught some people off guard. At least on the gaming side of things, the titles that have been coming out pretty much have been. I don't want to say they aren't necessarily disappointments, but I think they've been kind of surprises, honestly. I mean, just in my opinion, because, like I said, with some of the DLC that's been coming out for games, mostly games that everyone kind of forgot about, and that were like good last year. And then also, stuff like Street Fighter 5, which from my understanding is still a good game because, I mean, at its core, it's still Street Fighter. It's just broken.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then, of course, we have a little game that kind of just smacked people upside the head that you've been playing as of late.
Which one?
Far Cry Primal. Hello.
Oh, because you know what? You know why I say which one? Because I just got into like League of Legends, and
oh really?
Yeah, I've been playing it non-stop, DJ. Like,
really? Okay, so honestly, you really have to break that down for me because I mean, we've kind of talked about it before. I've yet to find a MOBA that has really been able to, do a body good.
right. No, I totally understand because, like, I had absolutely no interest in MOBAs at all. I was just like, well, it just doesn't interest me. And but what turned me off? The characters were interesting, but what turned me off was the community in general. Like the League of Legends community is known to be toxic,
very
more toxic than the Call of Duty community. So that's like really saying something.
I've heard the same thing.
So a friend of mine like finally convinced me because she was like, I really want you to play. So I said, okay, is it free? That was my first and foremost concern.
Word.
She's like, yeah, it's free. So I download the game. I go through the little tutorial, and at first I kind of didn't get things, but I'm the kind of person that I am. I'm just like I'm really determined to like learn things and the mechanics and stuff.
So this is this is the MOBA that Blizzard did, right?
Right.
Okay, so yes, this is the one that has all of the different heroes from all of the different Blizzard games and stuff in it.
No, I think I know what you're talking about.
So I
think that's Heroes of the Storm or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's easy to get things mixed up because there's like everybody's trying to do their own thing now. But yeah, League of Legends is totally different. So I'm learning the characters and everything, and they start you off with this character that's pretty easy, and her name is Ash. She's like a ranged character or whatever.
Okay.
And which is like right up my alley because when I play games in general, excuse me, especially like MMORPGs, I tend to pick ranged characters like with magic or rangers and stuff like that.
Right.
So I pick her. She's like shooting these magic arrows and whatnot. And then when I started really getting into it, I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can, do a character that's like a tank or one that does like hand-to-hand fighting or an assassin. And I started like really getting like hours into it. Like I would come home from work and I would play like a couple hours and I would go get some sleep. And I do 16-hour shifts, so that's like a no-no. So I go there and I started playing during the week. Then there were some characters. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend the money and just get like Riot credits or whatever and just buy these characters. There was some characters that I really wanted to learn. Like they were weak physically. Like there's this character called Amumu and he's like this kid mummy. And he's physically weak, but his moves, like if you learn how to use him, kind of like if you know like Zangief. Like everybody hates Zangief, but if you know his combos, you could like really fuck people up with
Right.
Zangief. With a
Yeah.
Moo, if you know his combos and you use like his magic in different ways and you're like really careful, you
Mm-hmm.
can cause a real problem on the scene. So the point of League of Legends is you have your side and the other team has their side, and then in the middle there's like this jungle area where you get to go in between and kind of like I guess get different buffs from the monsters that are in the jungle. And you can also use the jungle to kind of sneak in and try to like assassinate other players and stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So you have these crystals on the other end. It's called your nexus. And you have these turrets that are lined up, the enemy turrets and your turrets. And those are used to protect you or protect them along the way. So you've got to fight your way to them and destroy their main nexus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
It
pretty
can be
standard for a MOBA, yeah.
yeah, it can be really nasty. Like I've had some matches where I found myself sympathizing with people that curse out other people because I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
uh-huh.
Stand back, like fall back. Stop trying to get all the glory. Stand back, fall back. And then I've had my bad days where I get wrecked, like really, really badly, because I'm like learning a new character and my team gives me shit for it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's whatever. Like I guess maybe I had a thicker skin than I thought I did because I was just like, whatever. This is a beginner. Like some guy cursed me out and I cursed him out right back. I was like, this is an effing beginner thing anyway. So if you want an expert, go the f somewhere else. Like it was just it's so crazy. It's so crazy, but I love it.
uh-huh.
And I hadn't played it for a few days because I was resting and then I was doing like some original content for my channel. I don't know if you saw it where I did like the my theory on who's gonna die next in The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up Far Cry Primal and I've been editing video for that. And then I played The Walking Dead Michonne and then I had to do some editing for video for that. So that's just like I have been having like the best gaming week ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always awesome. Yeah, especially since you've had the time to do it, and it's one of those things. And because I've kind of had, I guess you could say, I've kind of had a very similar experience over the last couple of weeks. It's like I've been able to get a lot of gaming in on surprisingly on a lot of different games. You know, I like let's see, last week I had promised myself that I was gonna get a chance to do a couple of games that I was supposed to review, as well as do a review of this. There's like this new, and I kind of spoke about it a little bit on the last show. There's this new uh, dietary supplement gum that they're trying to market to gamers.
What?
Yeah, it's you know what? Let me grab the box real quick because it's something that I kind of just have to show.
Right.
Okay, it is, and some. I don't know if anyone even caught the feed, but this is the box right here. It's
Looks
called.
like an eye contact box.
It does, doesn't it? It's called Effective with No Eye Neural Gum. Relax, focus, win, and that's Relax, focus, win is the actual Twitter handle of the
Okay.
company, and it is. It's supposed, and this is what it says on the side. I'll just read what it says on the side of the box. This is the best way to explain what it is and what it's really intended for.
Okay.
It's 812 hertz is the frequency where your brain achieves focused relaxation. Think meditation. By combining relaxation benefits of the ancient Indian herb, can't pronounce that, with the focusing power of L-theanine, 812 can put you in the zone. Chew 2 pieces to feel great or relax under stress. Perfect for using before taking tests, interviews, dates, athletic activity, and competitive gaming. The rest you'll figure out on your own. So, I basically got this from, the company sent it to me to actually review to kind of see, if it was something that I wanted to speak about,
What?
to review it,
To
right?
review?
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'll try it out, right? So the PR guy recommended that you play like a game, a score-based game or something like that, first, and then shoot two pieces for like 10 minutes, and then you go and you play the game. And you play the game again after you've done, or after you've chewed the gum, right?
Mhm.
So I did that. And I gotta get this. Lord have mercy. I'm over here buying stuff at the black market on XCOM. So I did a session. When was this? Or was it last week? Or I think it was late last week. I did a session, and I streamed it, and it was basically me playing Guitar Hero Metallica, which is like, that takes all kinds of focus and like concentration in order for you to be able to do that right. So I did a session. I played a couple of songs first, just to kind of get in the swing of using the guitar controller again. And then I did a set list. I did 3 songs that I knew that I could complete on expert, and then I did 1 song that I knew I couldn't complete on expert, and then recorded all the scores, right? And then I chewed the gum, and as I was chewing the gum, I played, a few songs and just tried to keep it going to see whether, as I would do it, it would, help or anything, right? And then after those 10 minutes, I did the whole playlist over again and recorded all the scores. And I did actually feel as if as if I was able to concentrate on, my hand-eye coordination a bit more, and it actually showed a bit on the scores that that I had on the game. And you know how when you're doing Guitar Hero or Rock Band, it actually records your maximum, what is it called, key streak or note
Yeah,
streak or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I actually looked at that, and like the note streak that I had without the gum was doubled afterwards. And technically it's not really completely scientific the way that I did it, because you could almost say that, oh, the reason why you improved was because you played those 4 songs only once.
Mhm.
And at the second time you did that playlist, of course you're going to improve.
Right.
But I'll have to kind of after I finish editing the video, because I'm gonna like edit down the actual song performance into like a YouTube video so that I can actually post it and it not get blacklisted because of the music or whatever.
Right.
And then once I edit it all down, I'm gonna actually put the scores up and show the difference between the scores and the difference between the note streaks in it. And my note streaks actually doubled on every song that I did. And it did actually feel like it helped me concentrate on doing the songs a bit more, because when you're doing Guitar Hero on like a hard difficulty, or even Rock Band on a hard difficulty, and you're doing a song that you can't really do, or is difficult for you to do, or doing a solo that's really complicated or something like that, you can tell, you can feel the strain in terms of you concentrating and trying to actually hit every note and everything. And it was kind of interesting to see and feel the difference as I was chewing it. So, but I will say this about it: the gum is nasty. I know it says it's naturally and artificially flavored, and the so-called flavor that I had is island mint. It doesn't taste like island mint. It tastes like island medicine. You know what I mean? It does not really taste that good, and it doesn't have like sweeteners or anything like that in it. So it's not like it's got sugar and a whole bunch of other stuff in there to make it taste good. This thing is pretty much straight up, medicine. I
Wow.
guess you can say. It's not horrifically nasty, but it definitely doesn't taste minty. I'll say that much.
Mm.
So
It's kind of disappointing because I would think that maybe it had like more flavor into it because
yes,
it would make me want to, buy it more, obviously, or
yeah.
um, eat it in general.
Yeah, just to have some, regular. But I guess because they're trying to market it as a dietary supplement and something that's supposed to, almost be like a performance enhancer or something like that. They didn't necessarily want, I guess, and this is only a guess, I can't make heads or tails out of it. They didn't want to make it something that kids would want to take all the time and chew all the time. You know what I mean? It was like, oh,
Yeah.
your little 5-year old got a piece of gum and is like going to town on it and then eating it every day. I guess that's a part of it. I don't know. It's something odd, but it's it's something that I think will be interesting to see as they start trying to market it to like esports or something like
Right.
that, because that seems to be the kind of market that they're really going for. Um, and also, I forget. I guess like just other athletes, or I actually gave it to my wife and told her, hey, chew, because I know she's a teacher, and her some of the kids in her class are particularly stressful to deal with. So
That was so graceful the way you
right,
saad that.
you know what
And
I
some of these badass kids, like,
mean? Exactly, right. I'm very PC when it comes to that kind of stuff. She sometimes has issues with some of the kids and some of the experiences that she has at school. So I was like, hey, babe, before you get to school, chew this on your way to work and see whether or not it helps relieve the stress, or, help you stay calm or whatever as you're teaching or whatever. And of course, the first thing she tells me when she comes back is, okay, number one, that gum was nasty. Okay. Number two, she was like, it didn't relax me at all. I didn't feel any different. I was like, okay. And I mean, and from my experience with my wife, I'm pretty certain that's the case, because there's very few things on this earth that relax her, because she's just naturally an anxious person.
okay.
So I was hoping that maybe she felt a little bit different or whatever, but it just so happens that she was like, nope, Nathan's.
Wow, okay.
But it's something to keep your eyes on. For those of you who are looking to, like, maybe, I don't want to say gain an edge, but feel like you need it to help you perform better at like tournaments, game tournaments, or taking a test or something of that nature. It may be something to try once. See if maybe they have like a trial on the website or something like that. Get it, try it out on one of those situations, and you guys can make a decision yourself. So yes, again, effective neural gum. Check it out. It's a very interesting concept. So we'll see whether anything comes of that. But I had that opportunity to do that this past week. I played this other game from Tecmo Koei that's like another Dynasty Warriors-esque game called, what's it called? Arslan, the Warriors of Legend, or something like that. And it's based on some not new, but I guess recent anime that came out, and it like tells the story of the anime through a kind of Dynasty Warriors-esque kind of hack and slash gameplay. I mean, it's okay. It's just like all the other Dynasty Warriors games. It's pretty simplistic, but the visuals on it look really good because it looks like an anime cartoon or whatever. So visually, it's a very appealing game. So I played a bit of that. I played some Rock Band just to get back in the swing of things, because I was playing Guitar Hero. And what was the other game I played? Well, of course, I was playing a lot of MechWarrior Online. I thought I was going to play a lot of the Division Open Beta this past weekend, but that didn't come to fruition because I had not only other responsibilities, but MechWarrior Online always traps me You know, and they had like a new mech that released that I had bought like months ago that I wanted to play as. So I spent a lot more time actually playing that than
Well,
than playing the
I
Division
didn't
open
fall into
beta.
that trap because that game still doesn't work on my computer.
Oh,
However,
really?
I did fall into the trap of the Division beta. As
Uh-huh.
you already know, I was in the closed beta before because you gave
Right.
me the code,
Hmm.
and I loved it. You know, I'm not really like a shooter person.
Hmm.
I've never really like the closest to a shooter that I've played in a really long time would probably be like Sniper Elite, which I
Ah,
happen
yeah.
to love very much.
Hmm.
Um,
I heard that's really good.
yeah, it's really awesome game. But so I figured, you know how it is. You said, "Oh, you're gonna do this," and at first I was like, but I tried it anyway because it's free, and I ended up really liking it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So as we talked on the last show, there were some things that I really want. Like I want the DLC. I wanted it would be cool if it was called the Burrows,
Hmm.
and you could go to like different areas and different boroughs and obviously and do missions specific to that area, like little highlights, maybe something if it was in Queens, like Flushing Meadow Park or something, you
Right.
know,
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
the Brooklyn Bridge in Brooklyn. So I would really enjoy that because as a person that lives in New York, that you know it tickles my fancy. Like you know, it's a little bit of a cool I guess like an indirect ego hit, like, oh, you know, this game is like it's really awesome. Like I'm already
Hmm.
thinking the zombie apocalypse is probably gonna happen here first anyway. And, you know, it's not too far off for me with this whole like virus and the thing releasing there.
Yeah.
And then I played the open beta this weekend, and there were a lot of things that were smoother than last time, which is most prominently the controls of the game. They
Okay.
were a little bit janky the first time that I played it, like certain things didn't register right away,
Hmm.
or just the it was clunky in general, but still doable, and
Hmm.
still, but it was still noticeable enough for me to realize that they did a better job at it. That it was more smooth in the open beta.
Okay.
Um, what was it? Oh, the AI. I feel like the AI could be like a little better
Hmm.
because sometimes with the AI, like some of them would hide, but they would like not really be strategic. You know, they would like go back and forth between cover,
Uh-huh.
but not really switch it up as into like just take me by surprise. Like I kind of knew like okay, this guy is gonna move back over here, so let me just move over here. Then
Hmm.
he's gonna move back over there. So we're gonna do that. Then there were other times where the AI was just like they missed the delivery truck of fucks because they just stood out in the open and kept shooting. It was like they didn't care about cover or anything. And then
Hmm.
of course then there's the suicidal baseball bat guys that come at you with baseball bats and
Yep.
such.
Hmm.
So and the flamethrower guys who seem to have like this ridiculous amount of reach, like reaching you all the way across the room, like it hurts you, but they'll walk up on you, and it's like okay, the AI should know that they should probably keep their distance anyway because they have like a gas tank on their back, and one bullet, that's all it takes is one bullet for it to like explode on them.
Kabloom. Yep.
But yeah, and then you know, the extreme side of it is like okay, I'm going to try the hard mode. Now imagine those things I just talked about where there was the AI was going back and forth, and then there were AI that just didn't care, that just stood out in the open, and then there was some that just like walked up on you, but then their armor was like super thick. Like you would this was the most infuriating of hard modes. Like I would think that they should make that like extreme, like
Hmm.
almost impossible mode, but not hard mode. Because it was like it was the same nonsense, but the AI knew that their armor was like super thick. You would run out of ammo trying to go through one person. That's how thick
Hmm.
the armor was. It kind of seemed almost unfair. It was like pretty much impossible. You would have to. I don't think anybody could really finish that by themselves. Not
Hmm.
those missions. That's kind of why I like the idea of the matchmaking system that they have in game,
Hmm.
because during the closed beta they didn't have the matchmaking system. It was just like you play by yourself.
No, they did.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was there. It was kind of the way they had their menu system wasn't really great because it was
Okay.
hard to find. Because for a while, I didn't realize it was there,
Hmm.
but I eventually found it. I forgot what menu screen it was, but they had it on the closed beta also.
Okay, so I didn't see it on the menu. Where I saw it was I saw it at one of the vendors' desks.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't see that before. Like it was just chilling there where it says, I guess, you by yourself press triangle or whatever button it was to like matchmake or whatever.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not looking to play with anybody right now, but knowing that I can do that, I can play this game and I can jump in with my friend and I can do that mission. And then that mission disappears on both of our maps instead of me having to do it all over again
Yep.
just so that I can finish it. That's comforting. Or I could, if I feel like, oh, you know what? Let me just play with this. I feel like playing in a group, or I need help with this mission. So let me help
Yep.
somebody else with their mission and then they can help me with this mission. Knowing that I can do that at any moment in time is cool, and then I can make friends along
That's
the
big.
way. Like
Yeah.
that's to me that's dope.
Yes, that's definitely big because that's one of the big things that essentially on any co-op game that you really want, that if you get in a game that is relatively difficult or can be difficult at times, and you start progressing through the game and achieving stuff, you want to be able to have that feeling that, okay, this session that I just had with this stranger or whoever this other person was, um, where that it helped me just as much as it helped them in terms of the your mission, your objectives, all that other kind of stuff, your game
Right.
save. And that was also something that was good. And in the impressions that I did of the closed beta, I said this also, that it reminded me of a third person realistic version of Borderlands, because that's kind of the direction that they were kind of pushing it. They wanted it to be an online cooperative version, always online cooperative version of Borderlands.
Hmm.
And it kind of turns out that that's probably a lot closer than some of the other descriptions that I kept hearing on the net, where people were saying, "Oh, this reminded them of Destiny." I was like, "No, this reminds me of nothing of Destiny." And to compare uh, the Division to Destiny was like, that was just completely, in my opinion, that was completely baseless. It doesn't really compute. It
Right.
doesn't really have that much similarity to Destiny in any shape, form, or fashion. But it's still interesting to see people discuss the Division, because and we've kind of talked about it together, that the way that this game is, it's definitely not going to be a game that's for everybody. you
Right.
know because the whole bullet sponge, I guess you could say, format is not everyone's cup of tea when it comes to increasing difficulty for a particular game. So, because I've heard a lot, it was interesting. I heard a lot of people actually complain about that, saying that kind of turned them off. That the game, kind of ramps its difficulty by making bullet sponges and not giving enough weight to headshots, because they want it to be all realistic.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Murderous Nibbler? Murderous Nibbler joined us, everybody. Just wanted to acknowledge him. What's happening, homie?
Yeah, that is one of the issues that I had, and it's funny because I remember receiving extra XP for a headshot, but I'm like,
Yes.
okay, but I've been shooting at its head, this guy's head for like the longest, and you're giving me XP just now?
You're like,
It
I
should
got
be
like 8
headshot just
headshots on this
once.
dude and he's still alive, and now he drops,
Yeah,
and now you give me the experience. Okay, okay.
the hell, man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's weird, but I mean, that's kind of the way. In a sense, that's kind of the way Borderlands is. But I think in Borderlands, it was more acceptable because um, the actual theme of Borderlands was more cartoony. You know what I mean? It wasn't, it was known that that game is not a realistic game. So when people shot something in the head and it didn't die instantly, or it took a lot of hits, to kill something like that, it was acceptable, right?
Mhm.
Oh, and Murder's Nibbler was saying that Division was okay, that he ran the Division solo. Yes, the Division is not intended to be a solo game. So if that was the way that you played it, and you had problems or issues playing it that way, just know that that's definitely not the intent of the game. It's definitely intended for you to play even with strangers. You just jump in the game,
Yeah,
because it's not 100% a game that you really need to talk out stuff with whoever you're playing with. It's
right.
it's just more so you need that extra target, that extra bullet sponge to soak up other bullets, or to give you that moment to reload, or even just to heal you when you get knocked on your ass.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's the way that the Division's really intended to be played in a
But
big
I
group.
think what really annoyed me, and this is just my personal thing. I
Hmm.
think that when people um they're like, "Oh, is this what all the game is about?" And I'm like, "For Christ's sake, it's a beta. It's a beta. It's like a
Yeah.
slither of what the game is, especially when it comes to the dark zone." So I'm like, "All right, check this out." So I'm watching this. I was watching this stream where, this person was like, "Oh, I don't really like the dark zone because it seems boring and blah
Mm.
blah blah." And it was really because she didn't know what to do. I mean, she wasn't really like paying attention to chat because I was trying to like explain to her, what to do. Like you have
Hmm.
to, you if you're not intending to go in there and really PvP, what you'd have to do is find AI characters and collect whatever items that you have from off of there, and then extract it from out the dark zone.
Yes.
But the thing is that just because you're not PvPing doesn't mean that other people are not PvPing. So that's
Yes.
what I was like trying to explain to her. And at that time there weren't like a lot of people on either. Because the last time that I played online, there were like mad heads on there, and I was getting shot at, and I had to like duck and dodge and like shoot back at people and stuff, and people were waiting at like snipe points trying to get people at the extraction site.
Hmm.
So it's just like, people are like, well, we couldn't do much, and I'm like, yeah, because it's the beta. Like they're not gonna let you do a lot. They're just gonna test it out, and if you're really that into the game, go to the forum and tell them what's right and what's wrong, and then they'll correct it or try to correct it if they give two shits. And
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and they'll release the whole game. I think I'm gonna love the game. I'm not saying that it's gonna be the greatest game in the world. I can already tell that it's not going to be the greatest game in the world.
No, 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 no.
But it will have its fans, and I will probably be one of them. That's just how it is.
Oh yeah, me personally, I'm all over it because I like the mystery that the storyline is kind of weaving, and I'm interested to get into the actual storyline itself.
Right.
And Murders Nibbler was talking about Dark Zone made me rage so hard. Yes, I mean that in truth, that's really the intent of the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone is meant to be one of those like Grim Freak was saying, it's a PvP area where the intrigue of that whole area is you can get a lot of really good, powerful loot, but
Yes.
it's going to be really difficult to get it. And it's difficult because of the other players that are in the area.
Speaking of that, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I think that my main complaint about the Dark Zone was the fact that they allow these high level players come down into the lower level area and just wipe people out. I just think that that's unfair. I feel like they should have a cap on who can enter, who can kill what other players. Like if there's a level 10 and you're coming in Dark Zone 1, which is for like levels 1 through 6, I think,
Mm-hmm.
you should not be able to raise your hand against other players that are, of a certain level. Because it just makes it super, super, super unfair and super frustrating. It makes it doesn't make it very enjoyable at
Mm-hmm.
all. Because I've gone in there and got wrecked. Like I was maybe like level 6 or something like that, and somebody in there was like a level 10 or 11,
Mm-hmm.
and they came for me. They came for my neck, and I was minding my own business, and they had like a whole group of them that just
Oh yeah, that's
came.
why the first thing that I did after I went in there, when I first went in there, just like you, I was low level, and I went in there by myself, and that was a mistake. The next time that I did, I went in the little multiplayer thing. I got in a group of three other people with three other
Right.
people, and all four of us went in there. And because we were a group of four people, it deterred a lot of those crazies that were running around just slaughtering people, just mainly
Right.
because we had so many other guns that were going to be directed in their way if they decided to jump us.
Right.
So we were actually able to pull out some gear because we were like, look, we're together because we want gear. And my crew actually decided that, hey, we're not going to turn on each other because there's too many other assholes out there running around turning on us. So
Right.
let's help each other out. We'll get gear for us, and then we'll extract it, and then we'll up our levels in that thing, in that
Right.
way. And just like you said, though, you're still always going to run into that one or two groups that they've been playing longer than everybody else. They've got gear that just far surpasses the gear that you have. And at that rate, it's one of those deals where you kind of just have to exit and then go,
Yeah.
you have to exit and then come back in and see whether you get on another server that has, that doesn't have those guys in it. That's kind of the way I ended up having to do it, because once I saw those dudes and they were just tearing through people, ambushing people and everything, I was like, yo, there's no way none of us can take us down, even if we had two
Yeah.
groups. So we kind of just popped out, and we went back in. We did like a mission or two in the single player area, and then
Hmm.
we went back in the dark zone, and it was like a completely different group of people. But I think that was like the biggest complaint that people had on the forums. They were like, look, there's got to be more balance in terms of what level players you put on the same server. That was definitely the first thing I saw all over the forum. So I'm hoping that's something that they'll change by the time they get there. But that, just like you said, I mean, it's the beta. Those are kind of things that they're going to try to work out, as they progress closer and closer to the actual release date. So
Right. Well, it is. It is. We'll see. Um, it'll be the second game this year that I've actually spent money on, because me, like I won't spend. I'll spend money on games if they're on sale. Like Steam sales to me don't count, because like I'm paying what, like maybe $20, and I've got like maybe like 4, 5 games in my basket, so I don't really count
mm,
those. But
right.
I mean, like big name games, I haven't spent any money on it except for Far Cry Primal. Yeah, so that's something we definitely need to talk about, because that was just like that's a way different experience for me.
Oh yeah, and Murder's Never saying Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare 2. is the Jammy Jam. Yes, I'm definitely gonna jump into that one too. But yeah, definitely let me know how this experience is that you're having with Far Cry Primal, because it seems like you're having a great time with it, really.
Well, okay, so you already know that I've never played a Far Cry game before.
Hmm.
I purchased a Far Cry game last year, Far Cry 4,
Hmm.
and I just never got around to playing it because I have so many games on my backlog that it just kind of just fell in the cracks.
Hmm.
So I play the reason why I chose to play Far Cry Primal is because I'm a big like survival game person.
Hmm.
So for me it was okay, this is back to the basics. We're in prehistoric times, sorta.
Yeah, sorta.
Um sorta. And and
Air
you have to
quotes.
make things, yeah, air quotes, you have to make things, you have to craft things, like you don't have guns and like ridiculous knives and these blueprints where you could do all this stuff. Like I was happy to have to know how to make fire. That's how basic this game is. And
Hmm.
then you've got all these woolly mammoth, woolly rhinoceros, saber-toothed tiger. You got all these dangerous freaking animals around. And I was just loving the game. I just love the premise of going back in time and being a caveman. My first complaint was, okay, so you're not gonna let me be a cave woman, but all right. So yeah. So I was like, okay, cool, no, 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 fine. We're playing the game, and the premise is you are part of the Wenja tribe.
Hmm.
And the Wenja tribe is a peaceful tribe
Of
that
course.
has flourished in the area, but of course, you gotta have the other extreme. There's another tribe of cavemen called the Udam that are cannibals.
Hmm.
They have been eating your people. Like you can see them eating people. They have
Ew.
them on those homemade roasters. You know, when you hang something and you turn it over the fire. That's what they have. Like your people will get murked like that. They do that. So that's what they're doing.
Ew.
And you are basically in charge and you have to build your village. You have to find other Winter tribe because what happened was the Udam came, they broke up your village, they destroyed everything, and everybody got scattered. So you have to gather up all the people that you find along the way. Like they'll have events where you'll have to rescue the Winja from being kidnapped and everything from the Udam and other missions. You know, oh, lead the your Winter tribe to do this. I don't know, this ritual or whatever. Blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
So yeah, so you're using your skill points. There's a skill tree. You know what? Oh, use this to get extra life, or I don't know, you'll heal faster. Just things like that, you know, just the skill tree things.
Right.
And but it's a skill tree. There's skill trees for I think like a couple people. I think maybe like 3 or 4 people if I remember correctly. Because you meet up with another woman and she I think she like teaches you how to do like the map thing. Well, she doesn't really teach you, but you know, she says in game, oh, I teach you the ways of the map and blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you know, you gotta she's the main gatherer, and you've got that's your like your main base, but then along the way you find other areas where you take over, and like if it's surrounded by Udam, you take them out, and then you light the big pile of wood to signify that this is now your area, and then that's an area that you can like kind of like fast travel to across the map, so you won't have to walk all the way to the other campsite.
Hmm.
So first things first, hunting is like really awesome. I've gotten sick with the bow and arrow
Okay.
now, and it seems pretty, you know what, it seems pretty balanced, like realistic as far as fighting and everything. Like, during that time you didn't really have like martial arts or anything like that. So it's basically swinging clubs and shoving people with spears, and
Mm-hmm.
you just there's no dodge. That was kind of a complaint from me. Like there's no dodge. You kind of just have to move around and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's that. And then on top of that, like, okay, you know what? A funny thing for me is like, okay, the Dom are dangerous, and you not only have to worry about them killing you, you have to worry about wild animals killing you and them. I came across this group of Udam, and they were chilling, they were eating another human. And I was like, yeah, I was setting up my bow and arrow. I was setting up my aim. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this guy in his neck right now. And this rabid freaking, like, I guess maybe it was like a panther or something, but it wasn't a saber-tooth tiger. It was black, but I think it was like
Uh-huh.
a panther or something. Came out of nowhere and jumped on my back. And then because I screamed, I alerted the other Udam in the area, and they're like, what the heck is going on? And they're yelling, Ouija! Yeah, and they start chasing me, and I'm trying to run and trying to eat at the same time. And I got
Oh
caught up.
man.
I got really caught. I got snatched up in the end. But you get to see these funny events where you think you're gonna go and get the udama, and then a bear comes out of nowhere and it's like, yeah, yeah, and and it kills them, and you can watch them like the um fight off the bear or get eaten by the bear. Sometimes the bear wins. So yeah, so you unlock these things, and I just unlocked the Beastmaster,
Oh, okay. That's
the
what I was gonna
Beastmaster
ask. I was like, okay,
portion.
so why weren't you able to like calm said beastie and make it become your beastie bestie?
Right. So me, what happens with me, I'm kind of like a RPGer. Like I'm an RPG girl, and I will do these surrounding missions and not the main missions. Like I guess I'm so used to like grinding and stuff, so I'll do like the surrounding missions to get extra XP and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, there were some missions where I was just like, okay, you know what? I didn't see eyes because I tried one where I wanted to claim this base, and there were just way too many Udam in the area. Like I couldn't spot anything. I couldn't find anything on the map or anything. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just go and find this witch doctor guy. I forget what his name is, but so I travel to him, and I go on this trippy thing. Like you kind of have to like follow your animal spirit guide. You gotta follow it, and you're like flying in the air, because you're high as fuck, right? And you're diving into the water, and you're like just walking up, and the animals are just really calm and stuff. And then finally, the owl chooses you as Beastmaster, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
you can use the owl to survey the area and kind of like mark what
Right.
enemies are in the area. But I just got that, so I wasn't really able to, like, I tested it out on a small group that I already knew was there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good because you get to like control the way the owl flies, whether
Mm-hmm.
you want it to move faster or slower. You can pretty much go anywhere with it, and then you mark whatever the heck is in the area. I've gotten far in the game. I've put in like maybe like 3 or 4 hours in the game, but not enough for me to really say like if it's like a well-rounded game.
Right.
I can, however, say that this game will have its lovers and it will have its haters. Like for some
Okay.
people, um, waiting for the hunt, even if it's like waiting because it has the day ellipses, it goes into day into night. It doesn't just stay the same.
Uh-huh.
But even if it's just like waiting at night to see if a certain type of animal comes out, so you can get their flesh, so you can create something special, one of the high tier items. It might be boring to some people, and I can see why. But I hunt in real life, so I have patience. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can see why some people would be like, okay, this is, this is a little bit boring. I wish there was more action in this. And there is action because even when you claim these lands, the Udon will come down and try to take your stuff from you. They'll
Mm-hmm.
come to your village and they'll come at you and, try to attack your people, and your people will die.
Of
People
course.
definitely do die.
Mm-hmm.
But I can honestly see, even though I enjoy it, I can honestly see why somebody would say, you know what? I would really like this better if it had guns and stuff, because that's what Far Cry is pretty much has had. They've had tons of weapons and things like that. And
Trust
this
me,
is
I
not what they
am
used to. This
not
is
worried
totally
about that
different.
at all. I was stoked about this game once I realized that I could become like animal besties with all kinds of animals, and that you could
Right.
ride them, and that I heard that the owl that you were talking about,
Yeah.
eventually you learn how to have the owl attack people too.
I saw something like that because a
I was
bird
like,
attacks
oh
me out of
yeah.
nowhere. This eagle, like I was minding my own business, and this eagle just came down and attacked me, and I don't know what that was about, but I was like, yo, if I can do that with my owl, I'm all good.
Yes, I heard that that's what you can do with the owl. Owl, you can use it to attack people too.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm very stoked. I'm actually wishing wishing that I had like Far Cry 4 just so I could trade it in and be like, yo, I need Far Cry Primal.
Right.
Because I mean it really looks like it's right up my alley. Because
Yeah.
like I said before, I loved Far Cry 3 mostly because not only because of the gameplay, but mostly because of the story with the villain in Far Cry 3. But it
Right.
seems as if just that whole dynamic of Primal, that you can't use guns and stuff, and that you have to, actually beat people up and use animals to like tear your foes to shreds, and that your enemies are like disgusting. They're freaking carnivores. So that that's like a villain that I can get behind. A whole tribe of carnivores. I'm like, okay, good. They need to be dealt with. I can handle that as a goal in that game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm honestly I'm kind of stoked about that too. That's why I was like, I'm way too broke right now. It's not fair.
Wow.
Because I would definitely get that in a heartbeat. I really would.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been playing. It's enjoyable. I'm probably gonna jump on it again tonight because
Mm-hmm.
like I streamed it on Twitch and people seem to enjoy it very much. But um I think some people were kind of like expecting more, and I think I get kind of frustrated because I'm like, what were you expecting? This is not modern technology. Like this is before we were even thought about, like before anybody was even thought of, before buildings were thought about, before technology was
Yes.
thought about. Like
Exactly.
people were just trying to get by on finding meat. There were no stores, there's no guns, no nothing. I mean, you could build some things, but nothing as complicated as what we have now.
Right.
And some people, it's gonna turn them off, and I respect that. But I love games like that. I like where you just have to work to get what you want.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely seems like it's an interesting, an interesting game. I like the concept because in this day and age where every other game is like either a rehash of Call of Duty or futuristic Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like that, it's interesting to have something else that just kind of takes you to another um, time period that's different from what most other games or whatever are really delving into. So
Hmm.
almost in a sense, at first I thought that was kind of the way Ark Survivor Evolved, but it turns out that Ark it really spans a lot of time periods, and it just kind of sits actually by itself.
Hmm.
But yeah, it definitely seems like it's an interesting game. And again, I have visions of an old school 80s movie. I forget what it was. It was called Beastmaster. There were like a couple of movies back in the 80s just like that,
Mhm.
where that was like the whole premise of the movie, where it wasn't not necessarily in caveman days, but it was more like in barbarian kind of days. And the barbarian was a beastmaster, and he could talk to animals. The animals did his bidding, and that he could see through their eyes and all this other kind of stuff. And I'm like, yo, I love that idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens
Hmm.
as far as what they call it. I guess pros and cons. I probably will be writing a review
Hmm.
of it this weekend. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I mean, it does have its slow moments. That much I can say. It does
Hmm.
have its slow moments. But I think that people, again, are just so used to the past Far Cries that this is just something that um, they just aren't used to. And a lot of people, and just humans in general, hate change. It's something that you already know. I don't know. I guess that maybe they were expecting really smart cavemen to like build prehistoric guns. I don't know what to expect, but who
Right.
cares? I'm
Yeah,
enjoying it.
exactly.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say what people think when they have certain expectations for games. But we'll
Right.
see. We will
Yeah,
definitely see.
we'll see.
Because I mean,
So,
I kind of roll that up also with I could say uh with the division in a sense.
mhm.
Because it's one of those games I know that I'm gonna play because I like the concept. I like the so-called storyline that's supposed to be in it. But again, it's one of those games where as I play it, how long will it keep my interest, and then will it be one of those games that I keep running back to? Is still one of the it's still one of those questions that's up in the air with that game, since it's kind of a
Right.
newer concept. you know but we'll, like you said, we'll see. We'll Once I get into it, we start playing it as we together will be doing when that game drops.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be like, okay, so where are you? Because I wanna
Exactly.
I wanna play that game with other people. Like I've played the game with some friends,
Hmm.
but it's hard to play because I played it on the weekend. The beta was on the weekend. It wasn't during the week,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I do my 16-hour shifts, so it was hard to play with people that were up at the same time as
Right.
8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning when I actually get home.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it is dope. I'm hoping that
Same here.
I'm hoping that it'll shut a lot of people up, but
Hmm.
we'll see what happens. Oh, I meant to ask you. So, did you get a chance to play the new Walking Dead game?
No, not yet. I've been watching a couple of people play it on Twitch.
Ooh.
And of course, it's kind of one of those deals, because since it's a Telltale game, you don't want to watch too much. Because
Some
you want to experience the story yourself, but at the same time, you kind of want to see what it's like, that kind of deal. So I'm excited for it. And again, I'll put this out here. I'm really broke right now, and
okay.
even this game is beyond my financials right now, and it's not even really that expensive,
Right.
which is quite distressing, because this is another one of those games that's on my list that I know is going to be good. I know I want it. I know I want to play it. And I've heard some people say that it really does add depth to the whole Michonne character, because it's like a prequel. It's a prequel essentially to everything else that we've really seen when it comes to Michonne and the Walking Dead series and everything like that.
And the
So,
thing was, this is a little different. I'll try to stay away from spoiling it because I hate when people spoil things for me. Um, so I just want to second you on the like brokenness, but the only reason why I even have the game is because Telltale, extended a review code to me. So I was like,
hmm.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I haven't even asked him. I forgot to even ask him about it because usually that's what they do. They just send it to you. But I think the
right,
last two they sent to me, I didn't even try. So they were like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna stop sending it to this guy.
So yeah, I not that I didn't have the money per se, but it was just kind of like responsibilities. It was like, I gotta allocate my money for other things.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the game, I streamed it on Twitch, and people were in chat, like chatting up a storm because
Oh, of
it's
course.
Michonne, of course. And who doesn't like Michonne? Because she's like the most badass character in The
Oh
Walking
yes.
Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I loved about this story is that they strayed a little bit against what happened in the comic books. Like they kind of just like, or maybe there were some things that they just didn't talk about in the comic books, but there was a little tidbits that I was like, this is a little bit different than a comic book, which was fine. I like to have like alternate universe stuff. Um, this series, I think that it's going to be like so amazing. The mini series, it's going to be so
Mm-hmm.
amazing because there were parts where I screamed while I was streaming. There were other parts I kind of like panicked. There were parts where I was like I wonder what's going on.
Right.
And they have like this new quick time part where it's like you have to press in sequence of three buttons. Like you know how usually they'll be like, oh, press this button, press X. You gotta press X mad times and then the circle comes around and
Yeah.
then you gotta press square.
Mm-hmm.
No, I died at this one part where they had a quick time event and it was like three buttons in a row. And what I didn't realize was because it had like three zombies coming at me, I thought that it was asking me to choose which zombie to kill first. So I
Mm-hmm.
only pressed like X or circle or whatever or something like that. And I got eaten. I ended up dying. But I caught on real fast. I was like, oh, I gotta press those buttons in sequence. So then after I did that, it was like blown like the action scenes were crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The story is a little bit weird. Like there was some parts where I was just side eyeing people. Like you can kind of just like I don't know, like I was like, oh, I don't know if I like you.
Right.
But the premise is that Michonne was found during a vulnerable point in her journey. Of course, she was by herself. She did not have the pet walkers
Right.
tied to her. She was kind of just like doing her own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And someone found her, and they brought her on this ship, like this area, I guess a harbor, and they have this ship and everything, and they are looking for some missing people from their crew.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you go and look for your crew. And then things just go downhill from there because you get caught in some stuff. Like, it was like really, it was the epitome of the saying wrong place, wrong time. So you got caught up in this mess, and then you meet these people that aren't really so nice. Or,
Mm-hmm.
they put on this facade for everybody, but they get things done in a really not so nice way.
Right.
So I'm not going to go into it because that is just spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. But
Exactly.
it's just so much that I want to talk about because there were some things that I think this is going to be another game where I need to make another Telltale game where I need to make like a second save file so I
Right.
can see how the choices change and what can I do to make things better,
Mm-hmm.
because there were some things where I was just like, man, I wish I could have done such and such better, or I could have did this better, or maybe I could have avoided this, or this person dying, or maybe if I let this person die, maybe this person will stay alive. It's just Telltale always knows how to screw with you. So of
Mm-hmm.
course, I expected no less for them. The woman who plays Pusey on Orange is the New
Oh
Black. I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
you watched
yeah.
that.
She's
She's
the one that does the
voicing
voice.
Michonne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard
Yeah,
about that.
so that was like an extra little like incentive for me to actually play the game because she's one of
Hmm.
my favorite characters on that show.
Oh
But
yeah, she's a great actress.
yeah, we haven't. I mean, we've just finished season 2 of the Walking Dead video game, and Telltale gave like 5 different endings. So this was kind of like an appetizer. It kind of reminded me that Telltale did not forget about The Walking Dead,
Hmm.
and we're all kind of hoping that Clementine comes across Michonne in some way, which would be a really, really nice, like,
That
little
would be awesome.
tie-in,
That would
even if
be
it
awesome.
was for like a quick episode, like kind of like how Glenn was in the first season of The Walking Dead with
Hmm.
Lee.
Yep.
Yeah, even if it's just for that quick
Quick second, that
moment,
little
it
Easter
would
egg.
yeah, it would really excite me. So seeing that Telltale has not gotten rusty with their storytelling skills,
Hmm.
I can only imagine what the season 3 for The Walking Dead is going to be like. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Yeah, Telltale, I mean, that's what they do. They've got really great writers. They've got really great people that work there doing all the different storylines. And if you think about it, they have to write a lot of different webs, so they've got multiple endings. It's like they aren't writing just one story. They're writing like multiple stories and a whole bunch of dialogue that goes in between all those different stories, which is
Right.
pretty impressive, considering that a lot of people that are going to play the game, they won't even, because I mean that's happened with other games with multiple endings, that most players aren't even going to experience all the different or even half of the different endings that they write into the game.
Right.
But yeah, it's awesome. Telltale games are awesome. They're one of those things that I know I'm going to enjoy. It's just one of those, for me, it's one of those that I have to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, rather than play an action game, because like I'm in the midst of playing the Game of Thrones one, and which I enjoy. I love the Game of Thrones universe. So it's one of those that I play at lunchtime at work, because it's pretty
Hmm.
simple, but it's story based and everything. So, when I get a chance, I pop that into my, I've got like a Kindle Fire that I have it on, and I play it there. But yeah, definitely Telltale games are, ugh, they're definitely in a league of their own when it
They
comes to
are.
that style of games. They really are. So, Makita gives a very, very enthusiastic thumbs up
Yeah.
for for the Walking Dead Michonne. And also on kind of, I don't want to say similar news, but in gaming news, coming pretty soon. I think this weekend I'm gonna have access to an alpha for a game that I've been drooling over for like the past few months. I spoke about it a few times on the show, and it's called Dreadnought.
Okay.
And this was the game that I was telling you about that is kind of like if you had World of Tanks and you made it about spaceships. So instead of World of Tanks, it's World of Warships, or not warships, spaceships, or something like that. So you get different spaceships of different classes that you get to upgrade each one, and you basically use in a kind of player versus player team deathmatch kind of setting, I guess you'd say, just as they do in the whole World of War, warships, World of Tanks kind of genre. So I'm gonna get a chance to play their alpha this weekend. I'm trying to work through their tech support because I think I like messed up the whole download, the whole download for the
Why do you
launcher
mess
or
up a
whatever.
download?
Well, it was one of those where when you get the little confirmation key, you're supposed to put the key in, so they give you access to it, right? But I was doing the key confirmation at work, rather than on the PC that I was going to download on, because I didn't think it was going to be that difficult for me to go back to wherever the downloader link was and download the game. But apparently it is slightly difficult or different, so I had to tell them, hey, I confirmed the key, but I confirmed on a computer different than the one that I was going to download the game on. Can you send me a link or whatever? So, I'm waiting to see what, their response is for that before I can actually download it. Because I think the download is available now, and I think I should be able to play it. I think it's supposed to be playable tonight or whatever, but I'm not officially supposed to really talk about the experience,
Right.
because it's their closed alpha or whatever. So I imagine they'll have another round of sessions where they'll allow people to actually stream and talk about it a bit later on. So I'm still excited for it though, because I've seen some of the gameplay that they had last year when they had PAX East. They had this game, a playable version of the game at PAX East last year, and a lot of people loved it. They had YouTube videos of the gameplay and everything. It looked like a lot of fun. So I'm gonna get to jump into that. But what I thought was really interesting, and I know we kind of glossed over this at the beginning, the whole Deadpool phenomenon that's kind of kicking off right now. Deadpool really isn't really a character that I've really been that interested in, and I guess I'd be safe to say that that's kind of the same with you as well, Makita.
Well, I couldn't hear you went out for a quick second.
Oh, I did. Oh, I was just saying, Deadpool isn't necessarily one of those characters that, when I heard they were making a movie, I was like instantly saying, "Oh, I gotta go see that movie."
Oh yeah, because Deadpool is probably was one of my favorite characters.
Oh, really?
I think that I think that the fact that everybody is kind of like overhyping him, that I kind of got turned off by it.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. I've got some great Deadpool comics, but when I heard that there was a movie, I was like, Jesus, because you know how I am about comic book movies. It's just it's a toss up, and
Right.
I said, I'm not gonna see this movie. I'm not gonna see it because I'm afraid that it's gonna suck.
Right.
And then the internet exploded, and they were like, "Oh, the movie was just all right, blah blah blah." I think I saw maybe like 2 people that were like, "Okay, you guys are just overhyping it," and I kind of felt like I was one of those 2 people with Guardians of the Galaxy, because everybody was like, "Oh, it's so great," and I was like, "This movie was boring." But
I
okay,
loved it. I thought it was good.
yeah, see,
I
that's what
did.
everybody says. That's what everybody says. What? You're crazy. That movie was awesome. I was just like, yeah. I mean, I guess to you it was, but it was boring. Like I had fell asleep twice. It wasn't like I didn't get any rest or anything. It was garbage for me. It wasn't the worst movie in the whole wide world. I wouldn't say that, but it wasn't like anything that I'd see a second time or anything. So I will
You had your reservations for this one as well for similar reasons. Yes.
And now it's the internet freaking exploded. Apparently it like broke records and stuff. So now I'm just like, maybe this week or next weekend, maybe I'll go and see it.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I am too. I'm gonna have to take a chance on it for a character that I really am not that interested in. But apparently he does a good job. It's supposed to be funny, and I like funny, and that's really all I need. I can even see bad funny movies and still be happy. So it's right up my alley, apparently.
Yeah, I think the biggest hullabaloo around the movie was really how like people were like, "Oh, this is not a movie for kids," and it's like, duh, we know. Like if you know about Deadpool, you know that he is not for kids. But the
But a
movie,
lot of kids love Deadpool.
yeah, but they don't. I think that they love the childish character. They don't like. If you read about Deadpool, you know he's just not a child friendly character in general. I mean, there's like a lot of sexual innuendo,
Oh
um,
yeah, definitely. I
lots
mean,
of violence.
I've seen not his comic, but I've read comics with him in where he was a part of the team, like on X Force and stuff like that. I've seen him in that, and so I've kind of seen him in action in other teams rather than on his own. So I kind of I get the concept of Deadpool and why he could appeal to trolls or people that just like funny stuff in general. So.
Right, because he's just like a major troll.
Mhm.
But there was that people were like, "Oh, don't take the kids to see it." I was upset, blah blah blah, and I'm like, "But you already had the rating. Like the movie already had a rating, and you knew." I don't know. I don't know what it is with people. People just really annoy me. Like you knew what it was. This is not something brand new. It's not like they didn't tell you that, hey, this is a rated R movie.
Well, I think the thing that has really surprised people about Deadpool is the fact that this is number one. It's I guess you could say this is Marvel, which is under Disney, which is not known for allowing or wanting their big name or their money making franchises to be rated R, which
Right.
was the big thing. So since they decided, hey, we'll take a chance, fine, it has happened before and been a decent success. They didn't have high expectations for Deadpool, so they're like, hey, why not? We're giving him his time to shine. Why not? Let's see what happens.
Right.
And I think because it has done that well, I think that's why people are now going, "Oh my gosh, this has never been done before." Oh, blah blah blah. That kind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, well, I mean, the numbers definitely haven't been done before. But I think that's why people are bugging out because, hey, this is Marvel, who thought that the only way they could do a comic book movie, that they owned in this day and age, that it would have to be, PG-13 or less.
Right.
So, as we were saying before, it's just interesting to see that whole dynamic and how it's quote unquote surprising people now.
Yeah, well, you know, a little something different. There's nothing wrong with that,
Not at
People,
all.
I just think that people don't read
No, they don't.
and they just kind of just go with the flow and then they get to the movie theater and act all surprised. It's not
Yeah,
supposed to be for kids.
yeah,
Deadpool
they
is not
don't
for
read.
kids.
They definitely don't read. That's for
Yeah.
certain.
So there's that. But
Yes,
other than that, nothing
but
else.
here's the other thing. Now that Deadpool is kind of doing its thing, you know what's going to happen next.
Well, they're probably going to start making more rated R
Oh,
superhero movies.
exactly. There's going to be a whole slew of superhero movies after this that are going to be rated R. Of course, they've already said that Wolverine is going to be one of those.
Yes.
But more interestingly, in quick side news, just after all this hubbub exploded, um, they said that the whole Batman versus Superman movie is going to have an quote unquote R-rated cut that's going to be released at some point.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that seems like one of those let's grab the headlines moves, kind of deal, because I don't think they're going to release I don't think the theatrical release of the movie is going to be rated R, but they're saying, oh, we're going to have like a R-rated cut that's going to be released on maybe digital or DVD or something like that. Just
Okay.
so they could get in the news,
I guess.
that kind of ploy.
I kind of want to see it in the movie, but okay.
Right, but I just thought it was interesting because we've seen Watchmen do well, we've seen 300 do well, Blade, Wanted, Sin City, Kick-Ass, The Crow. All of these movies have been successful R-rated comic book movies. So I just thought it was so interesting that Marvel and Disney, of course, seemed to think that the only way they could put out a comic book movie is if it was rated PG-13.
Well, Disney has been so kid friendly, and for a long time since they've ever existed. And they basically are, I guess, they're stuck in their ways. It's all they've ever really known.
Hmm.
So I guess they're just like, if it doesn't, if it works, if it's not broken, don't fix it. That's
Right.
basically what they're doing. But I'm just like, you know what? I would really like to see some creative things, and I feel like it may it may open some really cool doors when it comes to superhero movies, because super superheroes behind the scenes, most of them are humans that just have superpowers, but they're still human inside. So I
Right.
would really like to see, I guess, like a little bit of a deeper feel, more emotion about it. Like, I would have loved to see a badass Spider-Man, like really get into it. I would love to hear Spider-Man curse. I know that seems so petty, but I would really like to, like, get the F over here, just like, yeah,
Well, yeah, because I mean, he's. I guess I don't want to say he's an asshole, but he kind of is an asshole in the comic books to a point when he's messing
right,
around with his villains and teasing them and everything as he's fighting them. So
right.
I could see that desire. I can understand that.
Yeah, so that's something that I would really like to see. I just, I think that it's just come to the point where I'm just really tired of superhero movies.
Oh, it's
So
not going
I
anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just really tired of them, because I think I'm just tired of them being done, the same ones being done over and over. Like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's being done over and over
Yes.
and
Oh
over.
my
I'm like, if you're
gosh.
going to do Spider-Man, can we get somebody else? Like,
Hmm.
can we get a Doc Ock a Spider-Man movie? Can we get a Miles Morales Spider-Man movie?
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they won't do it. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I doubt they will, but I think the other thing that kind of has the other thing that kind of has me interested, at least in the Marvel universe, is the fact that um, they know they're going to keep doing movies, but they also know that the actors that they have now aren't willing to do it much longer, which is the reason why we have Black Panther coming up soon. There's a reason why we got Miss Marvel coming up soon.
Oh, do we have Miss Marvel coming
I
soon?
mean, not Miss Marvel. I'm sorry, Captain Marvel.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, coming soon. They're gonna have a new phase of superheroes that they're gonna concentrate on rather than just the quote unquote big name superheroes that we're all very familiar with right now,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is extremely exciting because I mean we've already seen that they're going to separate the universes between the ones that they're doing like on Netflix and the ones that they're doing in the movies. So,
Right.
Daredevil and the Punisher, which I'm freaking geeked about, and Elektra and uh, Luke Cage, which is coming soon, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, which will be coming. I don't know if they've even selected an Iron Fist yet, but that whole dark TV kind of cinema that they're doing, I love the way they're crafting the stories because just like you said before, they're taking these superheroes and they're making them human even though
Right.
they are superhuman. They're telling the story about their life as well as the story of their adventures against other villains, which I think is fantastic. It's great storytelling. And then, of course, on top of that, the cinema universe, they're having to dig into the archives to pull out all these obscure characters that are popular within the comic books, but aren't necessarily well known for people that are just casual fans, like Doctor Strange and Black Panther and so on and so forth. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of excited for this next generation of heroes that they're going to concentrate on. and see how many movies they decide to give to them, or whether they're just going to say, okay, we'll do one Doctor Strange and then we'll move on, or we'll do two Black Panthers and then we'll move on, or to see how long they actually draw this out with certain characters, because I think it could end up in some really, really extraordinary stories if they really give the true freedom with these characters, since they are characters that are beloved but aren't necessary, but really don't have screen time in anything else. So they have a chance to really do something good with them. But we'll see. We will definitely see. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that you always have to put that out there, because we all know, when it comes to DC, that's what it is. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm excited for Suicide Squad, but I'm very
excited.
I'm sorry, I'm excited for it. I think Suicide Squad is going to be dope. I really do. But I don't think Batman vs Superman is going to be good at all. I think it's going to flop big.
Really?
Yes, I really think it's going to flop big time.
A flop mostly because nobody's really that interested in seeing Ben Affleck as Batman.
No, honestly, I don't think that's the reason. I think no. I mean, look, for myself, that's the reason. Yes, but I mean, for some reason, it just seems like the combination of Batfleck on top of the whole concept of the movie. It just seems like, I think everyone has kind of felt this way when they heard about the movie. It just felt like they're trying to stuff too much into this one movie. This is supposed to be the dawn of the Justice League, so they are trying to make this, hey, we're going to introduce new Batman, hey, we're also going to introduce Wonder Woman, hey, we're also going to introduce Aquaman, and everyone's like, whoa, you're throwing everybody in one movie, and you've only done one Superman movie with this new group of so-called people. They're like, whoa, slow down. Take a breather, like give each one of these characters a movie and then throw them together or something like that, or at least do two different movies with one character. Don't just throw everybody in one movie and say, haha, Justice League's here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Sounds like it's gonna happen.
Yes, I heard the movie's gonna be long as hell too. Exactly.
I don't know how that's gonna work.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't know about this. That's why I'm not excited for that one at all.
That sucks.
At all.
It really sucks. But let's hope. You know what? It would be a nice surprise.
It'll always be a nice surprise. Yes.
Pulled together, because I like that. I like stuff where it's just like with Ant-Man. I didn't think I had no interest in seeing Ant-Man at all, but it was a free ticket, and I was like, you know what? I'll just go, and I ended up really liking it.
So yeah, maybe. Which I still haven't seen yet, so I still gotta.
Oh really?
Yeah, I gotta break down and watch that eventually.
Yeah, it's a cool movie.
I'll watch it with my kids probably. They seem to love it, so.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool movie. Yeah. It definitely has it has its funny moments. It has its action. Since the action is pretty good. Yeah, it's one of the better comic book movies. It kind of gave me hope. I was like, okay, maybe the comic book movie industry is going pretty well. And,
it definitely is. The money they've been raking in, it's going extremely well.
Yeah, maybe they're doing better with their storylines. So I don't know. Hopefully, I didn't jinx it. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? We will definitely see, because everybody is definitely ready for it. Everyone is definitely ready for it. But, ladies and gentlemen, rather than watch me continue to almost get killed here in XCOM, that's basically.
Oh, were you playing that live?
Yeah. I was doing that a little bit. That's really all I had really to cover, unless there was something else aside, because I mean, right now we all know that everybody's sitting there watching the Flash so they can see live action Vixen or the Arrow. I think she's on the Arrow or whatever, whichever one of those it is. Vixen is on. So it's good. I actually did a full out Netflix like binge session on the Flash, and that is an excellent TV show.
Well,
Yes.
the Flash I watched. I binged watched the Flash.
Oh, you already
That
okay?
I
Yeah, the
binge watched.
Arrow, from my understanding so far, and this is what my kids tell me. They tell me, "Don't worry about season one. It gets good in season two." And that in season two is basically where it ends up having to step up its game because it has to, not necessarily has to compete with the Flash, but because the tie-ins with the Flash, it's like I guess they felt like they had to up their game or something like that. I don't know what the hell. They basically just said season two Arrow gets better. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I know a show is popular when my mom watches it. My mom is not really a TV watcher like that,
Hmm.
and she told me the other day, she was like, I like to watch The Flash, and I was like,
Really?
whoa. Well, my mom is in her 70s,
Oh
so I'm like,
wow.
whoa, really now,
Yeah, yeah.
really now.
The
The
Flash is really
Flash got
setting a
you
lot
watch
of
TV.
records. Yeah, the Flash is setting a lot of records for TV. Honestly, it really is.
I
It's
was
doing very
impressed.
well. Yes. So yeah, we'll have to see. I got to figure out whether or not I'm going to break down and either get Hulu, or I don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but I want to watch season 2 so I can catch up with the Flash like now, because I want to start watching it as it's on TV rather than waiting. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. But I'm certain everyone else is already doing that. But before we go, I actually did want to give a shout out to Sean Noel, who's the writer of City of Walls, a comic book that I recently did a review for. That is a fantastic comic book that you guys should definitely check out. The review itself is actually up on heedmag.com. You guys should go check it out. It's a short review because I don't, it's, I guess you could say it's spoiler free. I don't really
Right.
tell too much about the storyline aside from what you could pretty much gauge from googling City
Right.
of Walls. It's a very simple but emotional tale of three kids that are in a quote unquote city of walls. It's a fictional city that's basically a abandoned military base that all these different gangs and criminals ended up occupying
Hmm.
and turning into like their own city state. It eventually became so profitable and became such a haven, I guess you could say, for criminals and gangs, that it eventually got enough notoriety that the world decided, hey, we need to have some kind of checks or balances for this place because it's becoming such a centralized hotbed for the black market.
Okay.
So a bunch of people that they call nobles, that have a lot of money, decided to invest in this city, and they call it Kowloon. And they basically decided to move to the city and become, I guess you could say, the diplomats between this criminal city and the rest of the world. So people with money plus criminals all thrown together into a city that is
Never
like,
ends well.
exactly, and it's very very isolated. It's like once you're there, it's extremely hard to get out. So the people that have migrated there, or the people that are there, once they're in that city, it's like, I don't want to say it's impossible to get out, but they've made it extremely difficult for people to get in and extremely difficult for those that are in to get out. So rather than focusing on all these grand, extreme stories of the nobles and the heads of, the gangs and everything that they're doing, Sean Noel, the writer, decided, hey, let's explore the dynamics of this interesting city through the eyes of three kids that are actually dealing with how corrupt and how dangerous the city is, and how they are trying to dream big, and how they have their own dreams of leaving the city because of how difficult their lives are in the city. So it's the artwork. I love the artwork. It's the story, of course, has its emotional moments, so the artwork captures the emotion of all the different situations and everything, and it's just a very interesting story that's written really well that I think you guys should definitely check out. After the 2 volumes that I bought, because I bought this comic while I was at Comic Con, um, they have begun to release additional episodes on a website called Webtoons.
Okay.
So, every episode, I think they do an episode or an issue every week. I think it's either every week or every month. I can't remember. And
Okay.
on this website. So definitely go check it out. Very, very good story. Great art. I love the artwork. And you know how artwork can sometimes be subjective. So some people might like it, some
Yeah.
people might not. But I love the artwork. And it's a great comic. So definitely check it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm
City
gonna check
Walls.
that out. Yeah.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun. But that's all the time we got for the day. I thank you guys for joining us. Murderous Nibbler, King Savage, my boy Ting. Let's see, what do you have anything else on deck, I guess, in the coming week that you think you're going to be jumping into? To let people know that you'll be streaming possibly.
I will probably be streaming more Far Cry Primal, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I have again my video for The Walking Dead, my theory on who's going to die next. So yeah, this week's The Walking Dead
got my own
really...
theory.
Oh really?
I think
Okay.
everybody that's read the graphic novel has their own theory, but
yeah. But things are different on the show now, so it's kind of like.
But they've been foreshadowing this death for like the past, essentially this entire season. They've been foreshadowing this death, so I'm not even gonna say who or what or how or why.
I have a feeling that I know who you're talking about, but I don't think it's gonna be that person.
I think it will. I do. Maybe not this season, but I do think I think it is going to happen soon.
I think eventually it will happen. I just don't think it'll happen this season.
Right. Yeah. I've got a feeling it won't happen this season.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. Oh boy. But yeah. Other than that, there's nothing. There's nothing going. It's been pretty boring lately.
Yeah.
So nothing.
All right. That's okay. That gives us time. That gives us time to catch up on the games and stuff that we really want to dig into and really flesh out and get through, such as XCOM 2, as you guys see me playing. But yes, as for myself, I think I'm going to. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get in some playtime this weekend. I've got a lot actually going on with the family, so I may not get a chance to stream as much as I really want to. But right. I know I'm gonna have some more another Rock Band session coming soon. That was just too much fun last week to just wild out and do some Rock Band. And I'll definitely be doing more Mech Warrior Online. That's like my bread and butter right now.
Oh,
and
awesome.
And I'm hoping, and again, I'll probably be playing the Dreadnought Alpha, but I won't be able to stream that. So we will definitely see as this coming week comes. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for this week, for this episode, for this time. Thank you guys for joining us. Say bye to the people, girl.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Laters.
Whoa.